Hi.
Hi, are you sure this course is just for 2499?
Yes, and you know this is the only course with this expertise across the world.
No way!
Yes, way. Don't delay. Enroll now.
Geeks learning together.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Geeks for Geeks. I hope all of you are doing really good. So before I start with this webinar, I just want you guys to confirm me in the comment section if I'm perfectly audible and visible so that I'd add my guest to the stream. Just give me a thumbs up if I'm perfectly visible and audible. We have Saumya with us today, so she is going to share about her interview experience at Red Hat, and also she has done a lot of open source contributions. Also, she's a program manager at Girl Script, so she is going to share a lot about that. So the webinar is going to be really excited. I want all of you to, stay there till the end. Okay, I'm perfectly visible and audible, so I'll just add Saumya. Hi, Saumya.
Hey Muskan, hey
How
everyone.
are you
Thank you so
doing?
much for having me. I'm doing great.
That's great. That's great. I'm sure that because you have so many followers on LinkedIn and everywhere, most of the people will know you. But still, for the audience that do not know you, can you give a brief introduction about yourself?
Sure, Muskan. So, hi everyone. I'm Saumya, currently working at Red Hat, which is a multinational company and open source leading organization, as you all would be knowing. And yes, apart from my job, you all would be knowing this thing that I love to share my knowledge in form of videos, in form of blogs, and that's why I keep on sharing my knowledge in tech conferences everywhere. And yes, like communities, they have helped me a lot when I was in my engineering, when I was in my college. So when I have got the opportunity to give back to the community, so I'm trying my best. I'm trying to do the same thing. Yeah.
Definitely. Also, guys, Soumya has a YouTube channel. Please make sure you just go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's new, but the content is amazing, and we're looking forward to much more amazing content. Right.
So sweet of you.
Uh, Soumya, can you share about your coding journey since you are an SDE at Red Hat? So, like, where did it all start and how did you gain interest in coding?
Sure. So talking about my interest in coding journey, that's a very beautiful question as well. I got to know a bit about technical stuff about programming and all when I was in 11th class. We had C++ in our course. I remember that book by Sumita Arora, C++ by Sumita Arora. We had to study that. And
Hmm.
at that time, obviously everything was very much theoretical, and a bit of interest was there since then. But I was passionate about technical stuff, about coding and everything. I would say when I started seeing these apps which we use in our mobile phones, on daily basis, we have these apps like Zomato, Amazon, we use Gmail, etc. So I always used to wonder that, oh my God, how these apps are developed? Who would be developing these application? A childlike curiosity was there in me.
Hmm.
So that was the thing which uh, like uh, was something which motivated me to learn coding, which motivated me to learn mostly like mobile app development thing. And yeah, that's how my interest came into this domain, technical domain. In the first year of my engineering, I was literally blank that okay, how should I get started? I was only doing non-tech stuff. But yeah, I was obviously in engineering college doing IT, in the IT domain. So doing coding, doing technical stuff was important. So I did a lot of exploration. Literally, I was confused. What should I learn after fundamental, after basic data structure, algorithm, and stuff? I was confused between all the buzzwords, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and everything. And I did my own research. Some people were saying, okay, you should learn machine learning. It will help you make a good project, and that will look good in your resume. But what I did, I gave some time to each of these skills, each of these domains. I tried exploring them for like one, 2 week, that okay, what this is all about, because I was just in initial years of my engineering, and I had a lot of time. So yes, I did a lot of exploration, and I felt that okay, Java, I knew Java, and for mobile app development, Java was needed. So I thought,
Mm.
okay, I should go ahead with this, because mobile app development is something which I was always interested, right?
Yes.
So yeah, I learned that skill, and that has helped me a lot, to be honest, from freelancing to doing open source contribution to taking part in hackathons, everything. So this is a small coding journey of mine, how my interest like arose in this domain. Yeah.
That is really amazing. Also, the point where you said that you did your own research, I think that is very important for the students, because people just tend to like get carried away by what others are doing, right? So that is important. Apart from that, let's talk about Red Hat. So, can you briefly tell us like how many interview rounds did you face, and briefly tell us about each round that was there?
Okay, so Red Hat is such an MNC in which, like, at different for different roles, they may have different criteria of interview. But for us, for like especially we who like enter as a fresher after completing their engineering, or maybe as an intern, then they get converted to full time engineers. I will talk
Mhm.
about that part, and then maybe later we can shift to like what are other ways of hiring, right? So for us, generally the criteria is very much similar to any other MNC. Main focus will be on your data structure, algorithm, and aptitude. There were two written rounds, and after that technical rounds were there, two technical rounds where main focus was on data structure and algorithm, and then managerial round and HR round. So yes, the process is very much similar to how other MNCs and how other product based company hire software engineers. And I have heard a lot that there are some teams at Red Hat who like which mainly focus, like which mainly not focus on data structure algorithm. Let's say they are hiring for cloud engineer, Kubernetes engineer, so they will focus mainly on this part if you are good in that particular domain. So let's say if you are an expert in those domains, so you can maybe like a bit of obviously data structure will be asked, but main focus will not be on data structure algorithm. Main focus will shift to those topics, those domains, right? So yes, like a lot of teams are there which have different criterias as well. And let's say if they are hiring for principal or senior software engineer, so the criteria may differ. So yes, for us, for fresher people, this is the criteria, very much similar to how other product based companies hire.
Okay, and what was the difficulty level? Like, how would you rate it on a
Difficulty
scale?
level, like in the first technical video round, the questions were of graph and array. I would say medium lead code.
Medium lead code. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is something I think very common for all the companies that take for fresher roles.
Yeah, right.
So now I'll ask my favorite question. Like you are so much invested into open source, right? So few of the freshers do not even know what open source is. So can you tell what open source exactly is, and then how did you get started with it?
Okay, sure. So, open source and open source communities have helped me a lot, to be honest, in networking. They are a way, with help of whom you can start working on big softwares without actually entering into the IT industry. So there are many kind of actually open source project, and it's not obvious that you will be able to contribute to open source projects only if you are good in coding. No, like if you are a non-tech person, then also you can contribute to several open source project, maybe by let's say documentation. And there are many programs also which are specifically for technical writers, like Google season of docs is there, for which I recently like recorded a video as well, right? So it's not obvious that you should be good in coding only to contribute to open source project. Like many people are confused about this thing, that okay, if I'm not good coder, then I can't contribute. No, it's not true. There are plenty of other ways. You should like explore, go and like talk to the community people. You will find issues with the label like documentation, testing, research. So there are a lot of domains in which you can explore. And talking about like open source definition, So open source projects are like those projects uh, on which like anyone can fork the project, they can have their own copy of that project, and they can start contributing to that. Let's say for example, if there is like Mozilla has some like open source project, and you feel that okay, there are some bugs in there, there are some issues which you can fix. Maybe in the UI, let's say a button is not placed correctly, and you feel that okay, I am a coder and I can fix that thing. So you
Yes.
can go there on the GitHub repository of that project. You can create an issue with the complete description, with the images that hey, like this thing is not working in this project, the button is misplaced, or UI can be improved. And like after creating that issue, once the maintainers of that project will comment that okay, please if you want to work on it, go ahead and like make a pull request for it. So yes, you can definitely start working on that. You can push your project to push your code to that project, and like what code, the code that you will write, that will be like used by so many people out there.
Yes.
So that is one of the most beautiful thing about open source project. The code that you write for those project, they are used by so many people, and you can like proudly say to your friends, to everyone, that okay, I wrote this piece of code and people are using that. So literally, like open source has a lot of benefits. First is like you will get to interact with senior people who are already there in the IT industry since so long, and talking to them will help you a lot, will help you understand how things are actually done in the IT industry.
Mm.
So that is first point. And second thing is obviously when you will be working on those big projects with thousand lines of code, with so many like architecture being used there, you will learn the importance of writing clean code. And you will be like learning a lot many things, like on the go while doing the contribution. You will be learning many things, and you will be kind of getting yourself prepared for your actual interview as well, I would say.
True.
So yes, that is the second point. And third, obviously, like we use so many open source projects. There are like Linux is there, so many open source projects are there, so it is a way of giving back to the community as well, a kind of volunteer thing. And a lot of
Mm.
open source, fourth point is a lot of open source programs are there, which are very interesting, which have some perks as well. You can go ahead and check out for motivation. They give so many perks, swags to you all. And yes, these are the things that I wanted to share about open source. Apart from that, like many people think that how to get us started with open source. I would say you can get started with it even today. It's not
Mm.
mandatory to like just write code. You can write some documentation. You can help the project in improving their readme, or not exactly I would say readme, like in improving their document. Like you can go and talk to the people out there, and they will be definitely happy to help you out. So that's the point. And obviously git and github is something that you should be like proficient to start your open source contribution. And yeah.
That was a really good explanation. Apart from that, just one thing I would like to add, that they are assigned mentors as well. Like in most of the, like these programs are assigned mentors as well. So that is also a very good way. Like if even if you don't know something, they will help you out during the entire program. Like if you take Girl Script or Google Summer of Code. So yeah.
Exactly.
So, Samya, for you, what is the most important skill for an SDE? It can be technical or non-technical.
Yeah, sure. So, for software engineer, apart from your knowledge of your coding knowledge, apart from your technical knowledge, I think communication is something which plays a very, very significant role. When you
Mm.
join a team and you are, like, let's say, not able to communicate your point effectively, so that somewhere can become a hindrance. So, communication is like an important skill which software engineers should possess. It makes life easy to communicate with your teammates, with your manager. You will be able to like put things in a clear and a precise way. So communication skills are very important, and obviously your technical knowledge. Let's say if you are working in Java, in Kotlin, in HTML, CSS, so your technical knowledge in your particular domain for which you are hired specifically, that should be obviously strong. Yeah.
Definitely, I totally agree with you. Apart from that, I can see a lot of comments out there. So I just have two to three more questions from for Soumya. Then we will definitely start taking up your questions. So yes.
Yeah.
Apart from that, Soumya, can you share something about your projects? Like you said that you are into app dev. So what all projects did you work on
Okay, so projects in college as well, or like after joining the company, in the company only?
in college? Because most of the students that are watching this, I hope that they are still in college only.
Right. So, after basics of coding, after fundamental data structure, algorithm knowledge, I deep dive into mobile app development. I started with mainly Java, and yes, after that, like Kotlin came into picture. Kotlin has like a lot of improvements over Java, so I learned Kotlin as well, and it was an easy thing to learn Kotlin as a language. And yes, now I am like good enough to develop mobile apps in either Java or Kotlin. I actually use a mix of both the languages, and that is like good thing for me. That's a win-win situation for me. And yeah, mobile application development is something which I mainly learn in my college, and that skill helped me a lot. You like if you know a dev skill very in a very nice way, in a very good way, so you can do freelancing projects around that, right? And you can do open source contribution around that. There are many open source projects that are mainly written in Java and Kotlin. They are mobile app development related projects. So I also started my open source journey with the mobile app development related projects. So yes, and in hackathons as well, when you go there and participate in hackathon, you have to build some products in 24 hours and 36 hours. So most of the people would be like developing some website or such a stuff. So they're also like as a mobile app developer, you may get a better chance of winning, because
Right.
you will not get too many people doing mobile app development thing. Like it happened to me. Nowadays I'm not sure what the trend is going on. So yeah, that's the thing. And yeah, learning these skills nowadays is not a difficult thing. There are so many resources out there available free of cost. And yeah, I was also trying to make a playlist kind of thing for it, because I still get a lot of DMs on LinkedIn that how should I start learning mobile app development.
Right.
So yes, I would say first you can start with maybe Java or Kotlin as well. And it's an easy thing. There are many tutorials out there which you can follow, a lot of blogs, articles.
Definitely. And also, like, I forgot to ask this question when we were talking about open source, that can a student land full-time opportunities in open source, in any of the open source program?
Like there are many open source programs, like MLH has many, Google Summer of Code is there, and a lot many Outreach is there. So I would say those programs have limited time, like 3 months, 6 months or so. Each has a different time span. These like when you do open source contribution, when you take part in those programs, you can definitely add those things in your resume, and that can help you get a full time thing. Like it will look good in your resume, and you may be like interviewer may be impressed by this thing, that okay, you were part of that open source program and you contributed to this project which is used by millions of people.
Hmm.
So it will tell the interviewer that okay, he or she, like let's say if Muskan did some open source contribution, she took part in any program or so. So your interviewer will be impressed that okay, Muskan has done this, so it's obvious that she is having a good knowledge in that XYZ language. So that will obviously play a significant role.
Definitely. And I think it is very good for networking as well. Like I was part of Girl Script, and then in GHC also there was one open source day. I just enjoyed it a lot. Like the network that you get through all these programs, it's amazing.
Amazing. And that net, like those people will help you in future as well, maybe in
Definitely.
getting a referral, or like in guiding you, becoming your mentor. And yeah, networking really helps a lot.
Definitely. Now, Sama, if I had to ask you to restart your college life, so what is that one thing that you would like to change or do differently for that reason?
Okay, this is an interesting question, which I also never thought of. Like, what different I would be doing. I think the way I did is pretty much good and cool. I explored almost like all domains out there, and I choose that thing which was of my interest. Like I could have like done more startup thing in initial years of my engineering, because working in startups that give you a lot of like exposure, a lot of better experience. Like people say this as compared to MNCs, when you work in a startup, so you get like a lot of extra knowledge, a lot of that culture is there, where you will be like working for long hours, and like that hustle culture is there. So yes, maybe I could have done this thing, like maybe I could have done internships in early years of my college in startups.
Definitely. I totally agree with you because it might take more time, but the learning is just infinite. And in the initial years, you have so much time. Like there's no not college pressure that much, so you can definitely explore that field. Okay, so now my questions are done. Now people are really excited. They have posted so many questions. Now we can try to take those questions. Also, guys, if it is possible, can you please send the questions again so that I might not miss any of the questions like that you sent in the start. Cool. Uh,
Somebody
Move
is
on to
asking Red Hat interview experience, which I already have shared. Aswath is asking that.
up. Uh, Wait.
Somebody is asking, can you share about Red Hat? So that is like the multinational company. You can check that on Google. Yeah.
Definitely. Then Shivam has asked that he's in his fourth semester. Should he do only DSA, only development, or DSA and development together?
Okay, fourth sem means you are in second year, right?
Yeah,
So
yes.
I would say first of all, before doing any development thing, before jumping to either web or mobile app development or machine learning or artificial intelligence, clear your basics of coding, clear your like basic knowledge of data structure and algorithm, because it will help you in your development domain as well. For an example, let's say if you have a decent knowledge of data structure algorithm, you know how arrays work, so it will help you in developing your mobile apps as well. If you are making a music app, so which data structure will be used when you make a playlist, right? So these that knowledge will help you, that which data structure should be applied in which case. For making that what do we call undo redo thing, which data structure you will be using, stack, right? So the knowledge of data structure algorithm will be useful. So yes, fundamental should be clear. And it's not a like one day thing, you learn things slowly. If we talk specifically about programming and all, like in our university syllabuses as well, we have Java or data structure is also one subject in our university syllabus. If you're doing like PTech or something, and they have like 6 months of a span, so why that they put it for 6 months? Because we need to spend that much time, we can't learn everything in a day, right? There are so many topics, there are so many data structure, and yes, having a decent knowledge of your fundamentals is very important. So first, basics of data structure, basics of coding, and then development.
Cool. Many people are asking about GATE. Did you qualify GATE as well? Like, I'm not
No.
aware. There are so many questions about GATE. I was like, maybe. Okay. So, Lakshay is asking, what does Red Hat exactly do?
Okay, that is a multinational company, and like there are so many teams out there. I can't talk about each and every team. So that is like open source leading organization, and maybe you should Google.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good idea. Then Rishabh is asked that from which SEM should he start with competitive coding, and he's in first year. So any suggestions or roadmap for him?
For first, okay, he said first student, not here.
Okay, first
Maybe
student.
type. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so what I did was I like I didn't jump into competitive coding. Like I did data structure algorithm mainly from lead code, from GFG, from YouTube, and I did the development stuff. So like I'm not an expert person for the competitive coding side. Like people do a lot of competitive coding on code forces and stuff. So it's not like in which sem should you start. You can start anytime. I think once your
right.
basics of data structure algorithm is clear, once you feel that okay, you have a good knowledge of your fundamentals like coding, right? So then you can maybe start. Yeah.
Definitely. And also, like, only started if it actually interests you, not because
Hmm, exactly,
you
not
have
because
to.
everyone is doing that.
Yeah, because he asked when he should start, so it seemed like he has to do it. Right.
Yeah, yeah. And like I have seen many people who like haven't done competitive coding much, but they are sitting in like a very decent multinational company. So I like don't I won't say that it's must
Hmm.
to do it to get a job in MNC.
Definitely, that is 100% correct. So then Ishank has asked, I think it's pretty much the same question, that he's currently working in a service-based company for about 1 year and want to switch to product-based company. So
Okay.
for him, what would you suggest?
Yes, if you want to switch to product based companies, so most of the product based companies mainly focus on data structure algorithm, they mainly focus on apti rounds. So,
Hmm.
yes, you have to prepare for that. And yes, for that, like preparing data structure algorithm, a lot of resources are available free of cost out there. You can try maybe lead code as well because they have a very good structure to practice everything, right?
Definitely.
So yeah, and he's asking DSA or project, which is more important. I would say both are important. Your you will be mainly tested on your knowledge of data structure and algorithm in the technical rounds, and if you have added projects in your resume, then obviously the interviewer will ask that also, like what that project is about. So yes, it's a good thing if you have done projects and if you have added projects in your resume.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Then Dheeraj is asked that does Red Hat hire full stack developers?
There are like many openings out there. You can check on jobs.redhat.com. So yeah, you will find a variety of opening, and you can search
Hmm.
what tech stack you are sufficient in, and if that job role is matching your interest. So yeah, a lot of openings are there. You can check that out. And I see one question here. Um, Someone is asking about web development versus Android development, which I get a lot in my DMs.
Hmm.
So for Scrimsy, something name is not clear to me. So he or she is asking web development versus Android development. I would again say that if I say mobile app development, don't go with that thing, because maybe that you will not find it interesting, right?
Right.
So I would say just try to give some time to both these skills, try to explore both, and like you will yourself understand that which is more interesting for you, web development or mobile app development. Like many people are out there doing web development, and like you will find a lot of people doing mobile app development as well. But follow your passion, what is of your interest. If
Definitely.
let's say if you start with mobile app development just because I said it, maybe that you will give up on it next week or so, so it will be of no use, right?
Definitely. And also, like, as she mentioned in the early, like, webinar, that she explored all the fields like ML, web dev, app dev. So, similarly, you can also do so. Then there's one very interesting question asked by Suvigya, that how do you clear out your mind from coding burnout? Even I need to know that.
Right. So taking frequent breaks is something which helps me, and I think that will help other people as well, because it happens a lot when you are working as a full-time software engineer in an MNC or in any company. So like that's a very long sitting job, right? And you are working, you will be like sitting on your chair for so long, and sometimes it happen that you feel that, oh my god, it's like too long and I'm still working. So
Right.
taking frequent breaks is something that will help. For some people, music also helps. So yeah.
Uh, then Shivam has asked that should I also focus on my college subjects, or basically like the college CGPA, I think.
So yes, Shivam, I would say that college marks or CGPA play an important role when companies will be like coming to your campus for placements. Some of the companies will be having criteria that if, let's say, you have CGPA less than 7.5 or 7, then you will be not able, you will be not like allowed to sit in their interview processes. So
Yeah.
it's important to maintain a good CGPA, and like your seniors maybe in the starting they will say that okay, CGPA is not that much important, chill, like कॉलेज में कौन पढ़ता है, ऐसी चीजें वो बोल सकते हैं, right? But आई थिंक CGPA इज इम्पोर्टेंट. इट डिपेंड्स ऑन यू कि आप एक हफ्ते पहले पूरी पढ़ाई कर रहे हो या फिर एक दिन पहले कर रहे हो. सो लाइक वो आपकी कैपेबिलिटी पे डिपेंड करता है, बट हाँ, अच्छे मार्क्स स्कोर करना, आई थिंक इट विल हेल्प यू इन गेटिंग दैट प्लेसमेंट. या.
Yeah, on campus, my CGPA is really important, at least in my college. So, like, first preference is given to all the nine pointers, and then everybody comes along. Yeah, so
Right,
CGPA is
exactly.
important.
Even in off campuses as well, that plays a bit of role, because interview might judge you for your less marks, right? So
Definitely.
yeah, keeping a good CGPA is not a bad thing.
Definitely. And in case there's a tie, then I think CGPA is the only thing that is left with them for a, tiebreaker.
Right.
Yes. Then Shivam is asked that how much time should he give for DSA?
Now again, it depends on your capability. Like for me, like I take a lot of time to learn any new skill or anything.
Hmm.
So some of my friends, they cracked big ticks by doing just 200 lead code questions in 3 or 2 months. But that doesn't work for me. Like everyone has the his her own capability, right? And I'm a bit slow learner, so it take time for me. So it depends on you, Shivam. Like what's your speed of learning, speed of grasping,
Right.
and like if you are if you feel confident by doing, like let's say, spending 2 to 3 hours per day, then that's fine. And like I need to spend some more, I used to spend some more time, like 5 to 6 hours per day, sometime even longer or sometimes less. So I would say it varies person to person.
Definitely. Guys, if you have any other questions, please, put it in the comment section. Otherwise, we can end the webinar. Also, I had to ask one question about referrals. Most of the people, are very confused that does referral work or not. So, what is the scene of referrals in Red Hat? Like, how can we
Yes.
go for it?
Yes, like as a red hatter, we all get the chance to give referral to people who are interested to who are interested in applying, right?
Hmm.
Reference work, I would say, if like at least like you will get a better chance to stand in that queue, right? uh, it works, but obviously you have to do your like mehnat, your hard work, right?
Definitely.
So yes, for any MNC, I think referrals obviously work, but you have to work on your own to clear the interview rounds. Referral doesn't mean that you get the like job offer. That is just the starting point. You
Right.
have to give the rounds, all the interview rounds.
Definitely. And also the person who is giving you the referral, first of all, he or she will, just see your entire profile. And if
Exactly.
you're good enough, then only they will give you. It's not that anybody will give you a referral. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Rohit has asked, can I get Red Hat referral if I solve 1,000 questions on lead code? Funny
Okay,
question.
you can send me your link, your resume and everything, and definitely we can check.
Yes, definitely. And also, there's a way to ask referral on LinkedIn. Like, there are so many YouTube videos, just maybe go through. Yeah. Time management. I think she already talked about it, but still, if you want to take up this question, Sarah has asked how to make an effective timetable and how to manage college subjects and also DSA.
Yes, Sarah. Like time management is something which is a very very important, especially when we are in college. We have so many things to explore to do. We have like interest. We sometimes become interested in taking part in hackathons. Sometimes doing open source contributions. Sometime doing talk or writing blogs. A lot of things are there, right? So time management really become very important, and you will be able to manage your time effectively if priorities are clear in your mind. Let's say if you put your data structure algorithm practice at number one, and at point two you can write like development, and at third point if your priorities are clear, then I think you will be able to take good decision like how much time you have to spend on which thing. So priorities help a lot in manage in time management. And what I used to do in my college time, I used to write down things, like what I will do the next day. I used to write, like, let's say I will do three lead code questions. I will do one mock interview. I will be doing like one blog or something. So writing down things for the next day helps a lot. It helped me. I'm not sure like if it will help you, because many people give up on this. Many of my friends just don't follow it because it's not an easy thing for them to maintain, or maybe I don't know what. But it helped. Has helped me to keep track of what I am doing. And let's say if I am not able to do anything, then I just put a cross on that thing, that okay, I was not able to do this xyz thing on that day. And yes, that has helped me a lot really, and I that is a practice which I still follow. So yeah.
That is quite a difficult thing to follow. Even, I'm hearing it, I'm like, I can't follow it.
Right.
So, many people are asking about Red Hat interviews. She has already discussed it. Maybe you can, watch it after the webinar is over. So, we've already discussed that question.
Yeah.
How's your journey of learning DSA and then start with development? We've also discussed this. We have discussed
This.
about
Yeah.
her coding journey. Yeah, I think we have taken almost all the questions. Then, but
Yeah.
again, I'll just wait for another 10 to 15 seconds if you have any other questions. Otherwise, we can end the webinar.
Yeah, a lot of like repetitive questions are there about the interview experience and everything.
Yeah,
Vinay is asking what they ask in interview, how to get okay, which language? Okay, a lot of questions suddenly.
yeah. Which language? Maybe you can take this one. Like many people have this doubt. Maybe for DSA, which language?
Like I would say, don't get confused on this point. Which language?
Hmm.
In the when you will come in the IT industry, you may be asked to shift from Java to Kotlin to C++ to HTML or anything. So in the starting, I would say that you can start with either C++, Java, Python, whatever you feel you're good in, right? Whatever you feel that you should. I think don't waste time in just deciding the language thing. Just
True.
start it. So I started with Java, and yes, that pretty much helped me in the development side as well. So yes, you can either start with these three languages, or more are there, like Golang is also there.
Hmm.
So yes, mostly like in data structure and algorithm, people prefer C++ or Java or Python.
Yeah, so maybe you can choose any language of your choice. And I think logic is more important. I think syntax learning, it is like 1 week thing
Exactly.
if you learn it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, okay, we've taken all the questions, Soumya. Thank you so much for coming here and sharing your interview experience. It was really fun interacting with you.
Yeah, thank you so much for being a nice host, Muskan, and I hope that people will find this live seminar webinar thing useful. So yeah, thank
Definitely.
you so much.
Also, guys, if you want to connect with Saumya, we will put her LinkedIn in the description box, also her YouTube channel. Maybe you can just go and check out her YouTube channel and connect with her on LinkedIn. And yeah, I think she will be more than happy to help you out. Okay, guys.
Definitely.
Bye bye. We will see you in the next webinar. Bye.
Bye, everyone.